Let me take you back to a time when things weren't as rosy as they might seem today. Picture that I was 25 years old, and life was not the picture of success I had envisioned. I had just dropped out of college, convinced I was smart enough to tackle the world on my own. I got married, had a little family, and thought I had everything under control. But by age 25, I was struggling. I had more month than money, creditors calling, and promises I couldn't keep. I was embarrassed and discouraged, wondering where I had gone wrong. I found myself stuck in a cycle of frustration and disappointment. Every day felt like an uphill battle, and I couldn't see a way out. I had purchased more than I could afford, trying to keep up with the image I thought I needed to maintain. My big promises to my wife felt like empty words, and my self-esteem was at an all-time low. I began to question everything. Why was this happening to me? Why couldn't I get ahead? Then one day, a friend introduced me to a man named Mr. Schoaf. This man was wealthy, but more importantly, he was wise. He agreed to meet with me, and that meeting changed everything. Mr. Schoaf didn't just give me advice. He challenged my thinking. He asked me tough questions that I had been avoiding. Why are you in this situation? And what are you going to do about it? These questions made me uncomfortable, but they also made me think. Mr. Schoaf taught me that the root of my problems wasn't external factors like the economy, my boss, or the government. The real issue was my philosophy, my mindset. He showed me that my results were a direct reflection of my actions and decisions. If I wanted different results, I needed to change my approach. This was a pivotal moment. I realized that to grow, I had to face my suffering head-on and learn from it. I started by setting small, achievable goals. I began reading books that Mr. Schoaf recommended, books that opened my mind to new ideas, and I started listening to motivational talks, filling my mind with positive thoughts and strategies. One of the first lessons I learned was the value of persistence. You see, it's easy to give up when things get tough. It's easy to throw in the towel when you face rejection or failure. But Mr. Schoaf taught me that persistence is the key to overcoming any obstacle. He said, Jim, you have to stay the course. Keep pushing forward, even when it feels like you're not making progress. I remember one particularly tough period when I was trying to build my business. I faced rejection after rejection. Doors were slammed in my face, and I started doubting myself again. But I remembered, keep pushing forward. So I did. I kept knocking on doors, making phone calls, and refining my approach. Slowly but surely, things began to change. Through this process, I also learned the importance of resilience. Life is going to knock you down. There will be times when you feel defeated and ready to give up. But resilience is about getting back up every time you fall. It's about learning from your failures and using them as stepping stones to success. I started seeing small victories. I made my first significant sale, and then another. My confidence grew, and so did my business. The more I persisted, the more resilient I became, and the better my results. I began to understand that suffering and setbacks weren't obstacles. They were opportunities to grow stronger and wiser. The challenges are you facing today? What's holding you back from achieving your goals? Think about it. Is it fear of failure? Is it lack of confidence? Whatever it is, remember this, your suffering is not a roadblock. It's a stepping stone. Use it to propel yourself forward. Here's another question. What steps can you take today to turn your suffering into growth? It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. Start small. Maybe it's reading a book, attending a seminar, or reaching out to a mentor. Take that first step and keep taking steps every day. Ladies and gentlemen, the path to growth is paved with challenges and hardships. But it's through these very struggles that we find our strength and resilience. Embrace your suffering. Learn from it. Use it as a catalyst for growth. Because when you do, you'll discover that the person you become in the process is far more valuable than any success you could ever achieve. Now let's talk about something that's often misunderstood but incredibly powerful. The philosophy of suffering. Why do we suffer? What's the purpose behind the pain and hardships we face? These are big questions, and they're not always easy to answer. But today, I want to share some insights that might help you see suffering in a new light. First, let's consider why we suffer. It's a question that has puzzled humanity for centuries. Some might say it's just a part of life, an unavoidable consequence of being human. Others might see it as a punishment or a test. But what if we viewed suffering not as a curse, but as a catalyst for growth? Think about us. When do we grow the most? Is it when everything is going smoothly? When life is easy and comfortable? Or is it when we face challenges, when we're pushed to our limits, and forced to adapt. The truth is, growth often comes from discomfort. It comes from pushing through the pain, from confronting and overcoming obstacles. Imagine a seed planted in the ground. For that seed to grow into a mighty tree, it has to go through a process. It has to push through the dirt, face the elements, and survive the harsh conditions. Only then can it break through the soil and reach for the sky. In the same way, our personal growth is often forged in the crucible of suffering. So, what can suffering teach us? For one, it teaches us resilience. When you face a difficult situation and come out on the other side, you realize just how strong you are. You learn that you can handle more than you thought possible. Each time you endure and overcome, you build a reservoir of strength and resilience that will serve you well in the future. Let me share a story. There was a time in my life when I faced significant financial struggles. I was deep in debt, and it seemed like no matter what I did, I couldn't get ahead. I felt trapped and hopeless. But instead of giving up, I decided to face my problems head on. I took on extra jobs, cut down on expenses, and made a plan to pay off my debts. It was a long and difficult process, but through it, I discovered a resilience I didn't know I had. That experience taught me that no matter how tough things get, I have the inner strength to persevere. Suffering also teaches us empathy. When you've been through tough times, you develop a deeper understanding and compassion for others who are going through similar struggles. This empathy allows you to connect with people on a deeper level, to offer genuine support and encouragement. It's a powerful reminder that we're all in this together, that we can lift each other up through our shared experiences. Another valuable lesson from suffering is the importance of gratitude. When you've experienced loss or hardship, you gain a greater appreciation for the good things in life. You learn not to take anything for granted. Every small victory, every moment of joy becomes that much sweeter. Gratitude turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos into order, confusion into clarity. It makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. How can we use suffering as a stepping stone? The first step is to change our mindset. Instead of viewing suffering as something to be avoided at all costs, we need to see it as an opportunity for growth. This doesn't mean we should seek out suffering, but rather, when it comes, we should embrace it as a part of our journey. One way to do this is by reframing our challenges. Instead of thinking, why is this happening to me? Try asking, what can I learn from this? This shift in perspective can make a world of difference. It transforms us from victims of our circumstances into active participants in our growth. It empowers us to take control of our lives, to find meaning and purpose, even in the midst of pain. Let's consider a practical example. Imagine you've just lost your job. It's a tough situation, no doubt about it. But instead of spiraling into despair, ask yourself, what opportunities does this open up for me? What skills can I develop during this time? How can I use this setback to propel myself forward? By asking these questions, you shift your focus from what you've lost to what you can gain. Another way to use suffering as a stepping stone is to set new goals. When you're in the midst of a difficult situation, it can be helpful to focus on what you want to achieve. Set small, attainable goals that can help you move forward, even if it's just a little bit each day. Each small victory will build momentum and give you the confidence to keep going. And don't forget the importance of support. Reach out to friends, family, or mentors who can offer encouragement and advice. Sometimes just knowing that someone else understands what you're going through can make all the difference. Remember, you're not alone in your suffering. We all face hardships, and we can all learn and grow from them. Finally, keep in mind that suffering is temporary. It might feel overwhelming in the moment, but it won't last forever. By maintaining a long-term perspective, you can remind yourself that better days are ahead. Each challenge you overcome brings you one step closer to your goals, one step closer to the person you're meant to become. So, as we conclude this part of our discussion, I encourage you to embrace your suffering. See it as a teacher, a guide that's leading you toward growth and wisdom. Remember, the greatest stories of triumph are born out of adversity. Your suffering is not in vain. It's shaping you into a stronger, wiser, and more compassionate person. Embrace it, learn from it, and let it propel you toward a brighter future. Now, let's talk about the role of mindset in overcoming challenges. Mindset is everything. It shapes how we perceive the world, how we react to events, and ultimately how we live our lives. Having a growth mindset. The belief that we can develop our abilities and intelligence through effort and perseverance is crucial in overcoming challenges and achieving success. You see, our mindset is like the lens through which we view the world. If that lens is clouded with negativity and doubt, everything looks bleak. But if we have a clear, positive lens, we can see opportunities even in the midst of difficulties. This is the essence of a growth mindset. Let me share a story. Early in my career, I faced a significant challenge. I was struggling to get my business off the ground. I was putting in the hours, doing the work, but success seemed out of reach. I was on the verge of giving up. Then, a mentor of mine said something that changed my perspective. He told me, Jim, every setback is a setup for a comeback. Those words stuck with me. Instead of seeing my failures as the end of the road, I started seeing them as stepping stones to success. This shift in mindset was transformative. I began to view challenges as opportunities to learn and grow. I realized that each failure was a lesson, each obstacle a chance to develop new skills. This is the power of a growth mindset. It turns roadblocks into stepping stones. So, how do we cultivate a positive attitude towards challenges? First, it's about embracing the process. Understand that growth is not a destination, but a continuous journey. Celebrate small wins along the way and recognize that every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Start each day with a positive affirmation. Tell yourself, I am capable of overcoming any challenge that comes my way. It might sound simple, but these words can set the tone for your day. But when you start with a positive mindset, you're more likely to approach challenges with confidence and resilience. The power of words, the language we use with ourselves and others can shape our mindset. Instead of saying, I can't do this, try saying, I can't do this yet. That single word yet opens up a world of possibilities. It implies that while you may not be able to do something now, you can learn and improve over time. Winston Churchill once said, success is not final. Failure is not failed. It is the courage to continue that counts. This quote beautifully captures the essence of a growth mindset. It's not about never failing. It's about having the courage to keep going despite the failures. Another practical tip is to surround yourself with positivity. Spend time with people who uplift and inspire you. Engage in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. When you're in a positive environment, it's easier to maintain a positive mindset. Let me share another story. I once met a young man at a seminar who had faced tremendous adversity. He had lost his job, his home, and was struggling to make ends meet. Yet, he had the most remarkable attitude. He told me, Jeff, I see this as a temporary setback. I'm learning new skills, meeting new people, and soon I'll be back on my feet stronger than ever. His mindset was truly inspiring. He didn't let his circumstances define him. Instead, he saw them as opportunities for growth. What if you naturally have a negative mindset? How can you change it? The answer is practice. Just like any other skill, developing a positive mindset takes time and effort. Start by being aware of your thoughts. When you catch yourself thinking negatively, pause and reframe your thoughts. Ask yourself, is this thought helping me or hindering me? If it's hindering you, replace it with a more constructive thought. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Your beliefs shape your reality. If you believe you can overcome challenges, you're more likely to do so. Another powerful tool is gratitude. When you focus on what you're grateful for, it shifts your attention away from what's going wrong to what's going right. Each day, take a moment to write down 3 things you're grateful for. This simple practice can significantly improve your outlook and mindset. Lastly, embrace failure as a part of the process. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, famously said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Each failure brought him closer to success. Adopt this mindset and see failure not as a setback, but as a learning opportunity. Having a growth mindset is essential in overcoming challenges. It's about believing in your ability to grow and improve, embracing the process, and learning from every experience. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about making progress. So start today. Cultivate a positive attitude, surround yourself with positivity, and embrace each challenge as an opportunity to grow. You have the power to shape your destiny, one positive thought at a time. Now let's get practical. How do we actually embrace suffering for growth? It's one thing to understand the philosophy, but quite another to put it into action. Today, I want to share some concrete steps that you can apply in your daily lives to turn suffering into a catalyst for growth. First, let's talk about acceptance. Often, our initial reaction to suffering is to resist it, to push it away. But resistance only amplifies the pain. Instead, try accepting your suffering, acknowledge it, say to yourself, "This is difficult, but it's part of my journey." Acceptance doesn't mean you're okay with suffering. It means you recognize it as a reality and choose to deal with it constructively. Think about a time you faced a significant challenge. Maybe it was losing a job, dealing with a health issue, or going through a tough relationship. How did you react? Did you resist and deny, or did you face it head on? Acceptance is the first step towards finding solutions and moving forward. Next, reframe your perspective. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? This simple question can transform how you view your suffering. Instead of seeing it as a setback, see it as a learning opportunity. What skills can you develop? What strengths can you uncover? By focusing on what you can gain, you shift from a mindset of victimhood to one of empowerment. I remember when I faced financial struggles early in my career. It was a tough time, and it would have been easy to feel defeated. But I chose to see it as a learning opportunity. I asked myself, what can I learn from this? And how can I avoid these mistakes in the future? This shift in perspective helped me develop better financial habits and ultimately led to my success. Another crucial step is to take action. It's not enough to accept and reframe. You must also act. Break down your challenges into manageable steps and tackle them one by one. If you're dealing with debt, for instance, create a budget, cut unnecessary expenses, and set up a repayment plan. If you're facing health issues, consult a doctor, adopt a healthier lifestyle, and follow through with treatments. Let me share a story. There was a man named John who was diagnosed with a serious illness. At first, he was devastated, feeling overwhelmed by the weight of his diagnosis. But instead of giving up, John decided to take action. He researched his condition, sought the best medical advice, and made significant lifestyle changes. He started exercising, eating healthier, and focusing on his mental well-being. Through his proactive approach, John not only managed his illness, but also became healthier and more resilient than ever before. Build a support system. Surround yourself with people who uplift and support you. Share your struggles with trusted friends or family members. Sometimes, just talking about your challenges can lighten the load and provide new insights. Don't be afraid to seek help from mentors, coaches, or therapists who can guide you through tough times. Consider the story of Helen. She was going through a painful divorce and felt utterly alone. She reached out to a support group for people going through similar experiences. There, she found not only comfort, but also practical advice on navigating the complexities of her situation. The support she received helped her regain her strength and move forward with her life. Let's talk about gratitude. Yes, gratitude. Even in the midst of suffering, it might sound counterintuitive, but finding things to be grateful for can shift your focus from what's going wrong to what's still right. Start by noting down 3 things you're grateful for each day. It could be as simple as a sunny day, a kind word from a friend, or a moment of peace. Think about a time when you faced hardship, but still found moments of joy. Maybe it was a smile from a stranger or a beautiful sunset. Those small moments of gratitude can provide comfort and remind you that there is still good in the world, even when times are. Another practical step is to practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. It's easy to be hard on yourself when things go wrong, but self-criticism only adds to the suffering. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a friend. Acknowledge your pain and remind yourself that it's okay to struggle. You're human, and it's part of the process. I remember a time when I failed at a business venture. I was harsh on myself, thinking I wasn't good enough. But then I realized that beating myself up wasn't helping. I needed to be compassionate, to learn from my mistakes, and to move forward. That shift in attitude made all the difference. Now, let's consider the role of perseverance. Suffering often tests our limits, but it's through perseverance that we grow. Keep pushing forward, even when it feels like you're making no progress. Each small step adds up, and eventually, you'll see the results of your efforts. Think of the story of Thomas Edison. He failed thousands of times before finally inventing the light bulb. When asked about his failures, he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His perseverance is a testament to the power of never giving up. Lastly, reflect on your progress. Take time to look back and see how far you've come. Celebrate your victories, no matter how small. Recognizing your progress boosts your confidence and motivates you to keep going. Remember, every great achievement was once a challenge. The road to success is paved with obstacles, but each one is an opportunity to grow stronger and wiser. Embrace your suffering, learn from it, and let it propel you towards greatness. So, I encourage you to apply these steps in your daily lives. Accept your challenges, reframe your perspective, take action, build a support system, practice gratitude and self-compassion, persevere, and reflect on your progress. By doing so, you'll transform your suffering into a powerful force for growth. You have the strength within you to overcome any challenge. Believe in yourself, take these steps, and watch your life transform. Let's explore some powerful stories of individuals who turned their suffering into incredible success. These stories not only inspire, but also show us that suffering, when embraced and harnessed, can lead to extraordinary outcomes. Consider the story of Oprah Winfrey. Born into poverty in rural Mississippi, Oprah faced significant hardships from a young age. She endured abuse and extreme poverty, circumstances that could easily have defined and limited her. But Oprah chose a different path. She transformed her pain into purpose, using her experiences to fuel her drive and compassion. Oprah's struggles gave her a profound empathy, enabling her to connect with millions of viewers. Her success is not just measured by her wealth or fame, but by the impact she's had on countless lives through her philanthropy and media work. What can we learn from Oprah's story? It's that our past does not have to dictate our future. We can rise above our circumstances and use our experiences to create positive change. Think about Thomas Edison, a name synonymous with innovation and perseverance. Edison famously failed thousands of times before successfully inventing the light bulb. Each failure could have been a reason to give up, but Edison saw each one as a step closer to. When asked about his failures, he said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways it won't work." Edison's story teaches us the value of persistence. How many times have we faced setbacks and felt tempted to quit? What if we, like Edison, viewed each failure as a learning opportunity? Imagine the possibilities if we embraced our failures and kept pushing forward. Another remarkable example is J.K. Rowling. Before she became one of the world's most successful authors, Rowling faced numerous rejections and hardships. She was a single mother living on welfare, struggling to make ends meet. Her manuscript for the first Harry Potter book was rejected by multiple publishers, but she didn't give up. Rowling believed in her story and persisted despite the odds. Today, her books have inspired millions around the world. Her story reminds us that perseverance and belief in ourselves can lead to unimaginable success, even when it seems like the world is against us. Then there's Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in prison under the harshest conditions. Many would have emerged bitter and defeated, but Mandela used his suffering as a source of strength and wisdom. He emerged from prison with a vision for a unified South Africa and became a symbol of resilience and forgiveness. Mandela's story teaches us the power of maintaining hope and vision even in the darkest times. How often do we let our challenges embitter us? What if we use them to build our character and deepen our resolve? Let's not forget about Steve Jobs. In 1985, Jobs was famously ousted from Apple, the company he co-founded. It was a public humiliation and a personal setback of immense proportions. But instead of succumbing to despair, Jobs used this period to reinvent himself. He founded Next and acquired Pixar, which eventually led to his triumphant return to Apple. His experiences in these years of exile shaped the visionary leader he became. Jobs' story highlights the importance of resilience and innovation in the face of adversity. He didn't let one failure define him. Instead, he used it as a springboard to greater achievements. Now, you might be thinking, these stories are inspiring, but what about me? I'm not a global icon or a billionaire. And you're right, not all of us will become famous or incredibly wealthy. But the principles of persistence, resilience, and turning suffering into strength are universal. They apply to our everyday lives, to our personal struggles and professional challenges. Imagine you've been working on a project for months, facing constant obstacles and setbacks. It's easy to feel disheartened, but think about Edison's persistence, Oprah's resilience, Rowling's belief in her work. What if you adopted their mindset? What if you saw each setback as a step forward, each failure as a lesson? How would that change your approach? Or perhaps you're dealing with personal challenges, health issues, relationship problems, financial difficulties. Reflect on Mandela's ability to maintain hope and vision despite unimaginable hardships. Consider how Jobs used his lowest moments to fuel his greatest innovations. How can you draw strength from your suffering? What can you learn And how can you grow through these experiences? Remember, every great story of success is built on a foundation of struggle. It's not the absence of hardship that defines these individuals, but their response to it. They chose to see suffering not as a barrier, but as a catalyst for growth. And that's a choice we can all make. So, as you face your own challenges, think about these stories. Let them inspire you to keep going, to push through the pain, and to use your suffering as a stepping stone to success. Believe in your ability to overcome, and remember that every setback is a setup. You have the power to transform your suffering into a source of strength and success. All it takes is the right mindset and the willingness to keep moving forward. Let's talk about something fundamental to overcoming suffering and achieving growth. The importance of support systems. No one succeeds alone. We all need mentors, friends, and family to navigate through life's challenges. These connections provide the encouragement, wisdom, and strength we need to keep moving forward. Think about the most challenging times in your life. Who was there to help you through it? Perhaps it was a mentor offering guidance, a friend lending a listening ear, or a family member providing unconditional support. These people are crucial in our lives because they remind us that we're not alone. I remember when I was struggling early in my career. I was feeling lost, not sure where to turn next. That's when I met Mr. Schoaf, a mentor who changed my life. He didn't just offer advice. He believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. His support gave me the confidence to keep pushing forward, to keep striving for better. He shared his wisdom, helping me see the potential within myself. That's the power of a mentor. They see the greatness in us that we might overlook. Now let's think about friends. True friends are there through thick and thin. They celebrate our victories and support us in our defeats. I've been blessed with friends who stood by me during my toughest times, offering not just words of comfort, but practical help. So when you're facing challenges, a friend's encouragement can make all the difference. They remind you of your strength when you're feeling weak and help you see the light at the end of the tunnel. Family, too, plays an irreplaceable role. Family is often our first support system, teaching us resilience and love from a young age. My father, a hardworking farmer, taught me the value of perseverance. Even in tough times, he remained steadfast, showing me that with hard work and determination, we can overcome any obstacle. My mother's unwavering support and belief in me provided the foundation for my confidence and success. So, how can we build and maintain strong support systems in our lives? First, we need to be intentional about the relationships we cultivate. Surround yourself with positive, supportive people who believe in your potential. Seek out mentors who inspire you and can offer wisdom from their experiences. Build friendships based on mutual respect and encouragement. Cherish and nurture your family connections. One practical step is to actively seek out mentors. Look for individuals who have achieved what you aspire to and ask for their guidance. Don't be afraid to reach out. Many successful people are willing to mentor others because they remember how important mentorship was in their own journeys. Be open to learning and willing to act on the advice they give you. Building strong friendships requires effort and genuine interest. Show up for your friends, celebrate their successes, and support them in their struggles. Be the kind friend you want to have. Over time, these relationships will deepen, creating a strong network of support. When it comes to family, invest time and energy in maintaining those bonds. Share your life with them, seek their advice, and offer your support in return. Remember, family is often our most enduring source of support. Their love and belief in us provide a solid foundation on which we can build our dream. Let me share a story. There was a young woman named Lisa who was struggling to balance her demanding job and her responsibilities as a single mother. She felt overwhelmed and close to giving up. But Lisa had a close-knit group of friends and a supportive family. Her friends helped her with child care, offering to babysit when she needed a break. Her family provided emotional support, listening to her frustrations and offering practical advice. Lisa also sought out a mentor at work, someone who had been through similar challenges. With this network of support, Lisa found the strength to keep going. She managed to excel at her job, providing a better life for her child, and ultimately finding a balance that worked for her. This story highlights how crucial a strong support system can be. It's not just about having people around you, it's about having the right people who can offer the support you need. Whether it's practical help, emotional support, or professional guidance, these connections are invaluable. So, how can we be better supporters for others? Listen actively sometime. Just being there and listening can provide immense comfort. Offer help, even if it's just small gestures. Share your experiences and the lessons you've learned. And most importantly, believe in the people around you. Your belief in them can be the spark that ignites their confidence and drive. In conclusion, remember that no one succeeds alone. Build and nurture your support systems. Seek out mentors, cultivate friendships, and invest in your family relationships. These connections will provide the strength and encouragement you need to navigate through suffering and achieve your goals. Together, we can overcome any challenge and reach new heights. Believe in yourself, support others, and embrace the power of a strong network. You have the power to succeed, and with the right support, there's no limit to what you can achieve.